90% financial decision for a woman is taken by either her husband or father or brother. Investing is something that depends upon how early you start. Making money is easy, but managing money is very difficult. आज के टाइम पे प्रॉब्लम है abundance of resources. रोटी बनाने से लेके रोटी कमाना सब आना चाहिए.
Welcome to TechFluence Season 4. Today we have with us Shivani Gera, a finance associate at a fintech startup, a personal finance content creator, also has been a young professional at Sevi, and a finance expert with an experience of EY, PwC, Acuity Knowledge Partner with over 160K followers on LinkedIn and 30K followers on Instagram. She simplifies finance for the masses, helping young professionals make smarter money decisions. Thank you, Shivani, for being with us today.
Thank you so much. That was a very beautiful introduction. Thank you so much.
So, beyond this, Shivani, what is Shivani Gera, and how did this journey of fintech or finance started?
All right, so I'll start with my introduction. That I come from a town that is not, something which is very entrepreneurial mindset driven kind of a thing, but where hustle or exposure is considered to be something working in 9 to 5 organization. So I decided that I need to do something beyond 9 to 5. Then I decided that okay, let's do something apart from regular job. I started writing content on LinkedIn, I started making content on Instagram, and then I decided that okay, this is something which is making me understand the basic concepts and also the problem statement of the masses that they don't understand, and they take impulsive money decision. When I say impulsive money decision, it starts from whenever you have let's say you get pocket money, you're a student. Now how financially savvy decisions you're making, what financial acumen you're putting into and making those money decisions is very important. If you're using that money only for partying or using that money for upskilling yourself, now that decides how your money decisions are being happening. So that was the first thing. Second reason was that I understood that in the market there's a big gap that women personal finance content creators are not so many. So I thought like let's try this division because it's a niche where women are participating very less. If I tell you a ratio for overall stock market, it is very less. I mean, I would say it is just 30% of women participation. And out of those 30%, 90% financial decision for a woman is taken by either her husband or father or brother. So that's again very thought-provoking and eye-opening fact that we need to work upon. So these decisions actually, these basically scenarios and instances made me to work upon this genre and make content and make people aware about the financial literacy, because this is something which will help you to make those life decision, because I believe that making money is easy but managing money is very difficult.
Thank you for your brief introduction and then putting out that stats. And yes, it is very interesting that you put it out, because normally we see our mothers managing the home finance, but when it comes to making financial decisions outside, it's always generally men. And you taking up that stereotype to breaking it, where did you get that inspiration from? I want to know that. Where did you get that inspiration? You said you're coming from a small town, and then getting that inspiration that I want to break that stereotype. Where does that inspiration come from?
It starts from my mother. You don't have to search for inspiration when you have it at your home. And for most of us, I believe that it is our mother. For me also, it was my mother. So at a very, at an age when I was doing my graduation, there was some mishappening and I lost my father. Then my mother, who was not that much of, I would say, with great qualifications, something like that, very fancy degrees, she started, running my father's a venture. So that was into retail paints and plaster of Paris business, which is something very different to what she was earlier doing. I mean, she was a housewife. So, and most of us understand that it is quite difficult for women to get into a genre that is completely different at an age where we think that we need to stop our career, we need to take retirement. My mother started building something from that point of time. So I thought that if my mother can do that, and she, at the initial stage, she taught me one thing that, beta, roti banane se leke roti kamana sab aana chahiye. So I believe that you have to be that vigilant in terms of making those financially savvy decisions in your life. I believe that डिपेंडेंसी जो होती है ना वो इस दुनिया की सबसे ख़राब चीज़ है. So whether it is dependency on the front of money making decisions in the form of any kind of emotional dependency, that is very bad. So try to make at least whatever that is into your control, that is money matter decision, you can control those decisions. Try to take that part, try to build that financial acumen, and it all starts from, I believe, now. You have to financially literate yourself, and no one is going to come to you and tell you that hold on this mic and just learn these things, talk about yourself, this is your stage. No one will come to you. You have to take that stage, you have to educate yourself on those fronts.
Now, uh, personal finance is a lot, or I would say rather most of the times, not a lot, most of the times overlooked by students when they start their careers early. They get their first job, they're excited, so they overlook. What are the three advices or three suggestions I would say you would want to give to students who are starting their career and then it's an early in their career? What kind of mistakes they could make, or what kind of choices they should make for their personal finance?
I believe the very first thing that they should make is, penning down their expenses, making budgets for, themselves. We sometimes very irrationally we spend amount considering that okay we have at least a month left with us that we can take care of the expenses. We have time. We'll do it. That is the first thing that they don't understand, that why budgeting is very important. I would say it's paramount. Second thing is that they don't understand that investing is something that will start from very initial stage. They think that okay, I'll attain certain amount into my salary bracket, then only I'll put money into SIPs, systematic investment plans, or mutual funds, anything, or something into stock market directly in terms of stock direct investments. So they think that I will attain a certain age, let's say I'll cross 25, I'll cross 30, then only I'll start my investments. But that is a wrong thing. Investing is something that depends upon how early you start. Compounding is the wonder of the world. It's the seventh wonder of the world. So this is something that everyone say, and you have to understand that whenever you will start your investment journey, it will actually give you a compounding return, and compounding works upon as early you start. So please try to understand that whenever you want to invest, start with a smaller amount. It could be even 500 rupees. And if you want to go for a safest investment, they think that stock market is very risky. They can't invest huge amount because they don't earn huge amount. But do you really think that spending 200 or 250 rupees a month is a very big deal? I don't think so. So you have to start early. First thing, start penning down your expenses. Don't do irrational impulsive buying decision considering the fact that you are at your young age and zindagi na milegi dobara. So जिंदगी मिलेगी दोबारा ऐसा तो मैं नहीं बोल सकती, बट वो जिंदगी को जीने के लिए भी आपको पैसे चाहिए. एंड फॉर हैविंग दैट गुड अमाउंट, for having that lavish luxury life, you have to save in advance. So try to make those decisions very carefully.
Great. Now, half of the advice you have already given, but then students who are early in their career, some of them do want to invest, but yeah, as you said, there's a risk and fear of the market which is there. So, how should they look at starting investing, or what kind of, I would say, research that they should do before going in, so that they start with minimal risk and then they start doing it, and then once they have that knowledge, then they move forward taking educated risk.
So before that, I just wanted to ask you a question that in India, what do you think that what is the stock market participation percentage?
Stock market.
Maybe I'll just give you the facts for other nations. Maybe that will give you a base. So in US, it is 55% stock market participation percentage. For Australia, it is 37%. For overall Europe, it is 54%. So what could be in India?
It would be my guess. I'm not a market guy,
Yeah.
but India should be anything between 10 to 12%.
All right, so this is 5%.
Oh.
Lower than the expectation. So concerns and questions on the part of students are genuine, right? Because if you look at the numbers as well, it is just 5%. Barely, I would say, a point percentage of the crowd we are having.
Yeah.
So why this is a problem? The first thing is that we have information which is sometimes irrelevant. पहले के टाइम पे प्रॉब्लम था स्कार्सिटी ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. आज के टाइम पे पता है प्रॉब्लम क्या है? आज के टाइम पे प्रॉब्लम है abundance of resources. क्योंकि आज लोगों को पता नहीं है कि किस डायरेक्शन से हमें वो चीज़ मिलेगी या गाइडेंस मिलेगी. With the help of digitalization, with the help of mobile and internet penetration across the nation, even the rural India is also developing, and with government's numerous initiatives to make India more digitalized economy, we are somehow moving towards that nation which is getting financially literate, but still there's a huge gap. Now, why there's a huge gap? I'll give you 3 pointers for that. The very first reason for that huge gap is we don't have correct education imparting students from the very beginning of their career. They come to college, they come to companies, and then they take that decision, or they have this question or concern that kaha invest karu. Now I talked to my nephew. He's into class 5th, and he says that कि बुआ मुझे बता दो अगर मेरे पास 500 है मुझे अपनी सिप करनी है. So it's like okay, now people are getting smarter.
Smarter.
But हमारे टाइम पे it was like मम्मी लोग तो एफडी करते हैं ना, तो एफडी तो होता है इन्वेस्टमेंट, उसके अलावा सिप क्या होता है? आई रिमेंबर द फर्स्ट टाइम द पर्सन आस्क्ड मी, आई थिंक आई वाज इन 11th class, someone asked me what is sip. I was like, chai ka sip? No, 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 this is not that sip. So that time I went back to home and I understood what is exactly this sip. So it was systematic investment plan. I understood, okay, what exactly this is. So this works upon when you want to work or when to invest your money into directly mutual funds, but you don't have that lump sum amount to invest directly. You go for unit investment, and that is something which is known as systematic investment plans. So that is a financial awareness that nation is getting with the help of internet and digital penetration. So that's a good thing. The gap is, first of all, obviously education is not there. Second, fear of losing is very much in the market. If you look at SEBI's report as well, the option trading, if I talk about, 9 out of 10 investors are into losses. So this is something which makes them stop and pause and don't invest money into stock market, and they still consider gold, real estate, and other assets to be more
More
risk
safe.
free. So that's why they consider these kind of investment. And I believe that this family background also makes you little skeptical of making those decisions, because whenever we have seen in our homes that okay, mama or papa to sirf FD ke liye ya LIC kara lo, that's again a favorite investment
Yeah.
jo hai jeevan ke saath bhi jeevan ke
उनके
baad
बाद
bhi.
भी.
So that is something which many household nowadays also prefer. But nowadays the younger generation is getting more smarter with the help of education, internet. Many content creators have also tried to bring that revolution, and I'm very happy to be a part of that generation that is actually trying to bring a change. And I believe change is something which is inevitable, that's going to happen. आजकल हमारे पेरेंट्स भी हमसे पूछते हैं कि स्टॉक मार्केट में कितना पैसा लगाया है. सो मम्मा पूछती है मुझसे कि तुमने भी स्टॉक मार्केट में पैसा लगाया. अब मैं उनको समझाऊंगी कि ओके कितना लगाया, कैसे लगाया. आई कांट टेल द बाइफर्गेशन बिकॉज बाइफर्गेशन शी वोंट अंडरस्टैंड एवरीथिंग, बट she feels good that I am investing my money into different asset classes. So I believe diversification is very important. So even students need to understand that it's okay if you don't have that much of amount, you don't want to go for risk, kind of risky assets, go for risk averse assets, go for bonds. There are some treasury instruments which are risk-free, government bonds. There are index funds that are actually, they're actually capturing what is happening at the index like Nifty, Sensex, how they are performing. Your mutual fund will also perform accordingly. So that's the safest option. It starts from 500 rupee. So
Great.
if not all these, you can invest for gold, not in the physical format. You can go for ETFs for the gold. You can go for commodities like copper, silver. Silver is again a growing and the buzzing investment choice for the users, with the investments and I would say government participation into green energy. They need solar panel, they need some kind of solar chips, they need some kind of silver materializing for the platings for those kind of equipments. So silver is going to be a very booming segment for investors, and it has already touched I think 1 lakh. So we can assume that anticipate this thing, that in the coming front these kind of metals will also give a great boom in the Indian economy.
Thank you. Now, how should I put that question to you? You do your part of the job. You do a lot of research on the market, obviously, to be good at your job. And then you do the content creation. Obviously, of content creation would not everything just the research, but there's a lot of other side of content creation that comes into play. How do you manage this side hustle?
All right. So I believe that whenever you want to do something or pursue something that excites you, that passionates you, you will take time out, time for it. and content creation or teaching is something which I like the most. It's not about content creation, to be very honest. I started writing on LinkedIn. रीजन बीइंग आई कंसिडर कि मुझे अपने इंटरव्यू देने ये मेरी डिजिटल डायरी है.
Okay.
तो मैं जो सीखती थी मैं उसमें डालती थी, सिंपल एज दैट. एक दो बार पोस्ट थोड़े से वायरल हो गए, आई गॉट टू नो ओके ये भी होता है, ऐसा भी होता है, यू गेट दैट काइंड ऑफ फेम एज वेल. कुछ ब्रांड प्रमोशंस भी आने लगे, सो आई गॉट टू नो ओके वी कैन ऑल्सो मोनेटाइज दिस प्लेटफॉर्म इन दिस डायरेक्शन. सो जब पैशन के साथ पैसा मिलता है ना तो मन कर ही जाता है, आई वुड से.
Okay. One thing added to the other. Now let's come to the fun part. If your finance career was a Bollywood movie, what would you title that movie?
For me, I would say सिर्फ एक मूवी नहीं है ये. So there are phases, into your career, into your any kind of career. If it is a 9 to 5 job, if it's personal finance, anything you do, there are some phases. Sometime it is जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा. Sometime it is the Rocky that salesman. So and then sometime it is the guru, the passionate entrepreneur. So there are phases when you feel like my life is going in this movie film direction or something like that. So there's a combination of many movies.
Great. What's harder, explaining stock markets to a beginner or getting someone to create monthly budget?
So my question to you is, मैं आपको बताऊंगी कि 1 लाख रुपए कैसे कमाना है, वो उसमें आपको ज़्यादा मज़ा आएगा, और समथिंग कि आपको 1 लाख बचाना है तो आपको किस में मज़ा आएगा, कमाने में, राइट? सो people are easier, they love to learn about stock market, so it's very easy कि पैसा बनाना कैसे है, but पैसा बचाना कैसे, that is very difficult to make people learn about that. So budgeting is something that is quite difficult.
Okay. If LinkedIn had a finance influencer leaderboard, where do you think you would rank?
I would let LinkedIn, rank me for that, but I believe for this one, I would say that I have worked with some of the best people on LinkedIn. I met some of the best folks on LinkedIn. So I believe that every platform you go, you meet some of the best people. And whenever you consider that you're working with someone better than you, that is a blessing for you. And the moment you consider that thing as a blessing, not a threat, you grow into your life.
Great.
So that's it.
And if you have to summarize and tell the experience of this TechFluence season 4 in one word, what would that word be?
Can I say it? Mitochondria, the powerhouse of
powerhouse.
cells. So it was a power-packed session. So that was amazing. The energy, the enthusiasm, the crazy, energy level, the shouting, the hooting, everything was fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us, Shivani.
Thank you.